Shalom, 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 Yasharala. This your boy, Brother Samuel, back at you with another quick edifying video. Right, today's lesson is going to be called Only the Elect Will Obtain. Right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say Kahala Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach Yahweh, Bahashem, Rakak Radash. Right, that's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahweh Shai, right, and the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone from Tahar on down, who have ruled well through the Spirit and has pushed this truth and this gospel to the four corners of the earth in these last days, right? And like I said, today's topic is going to be called Only the Elect Will Obtain, right? Because ultimately, only the elect are going to get it's going to understand the scriptures and is going to, obey and follow these scriptures, man. Right? It's only the elect, right? Really, these scriptures are really for the elect. They're only for the elect because the elect are going to hear, right, the voice of Yahweh Shem Shai, right? So I just want to get a couple things real quick, and then I'll close it out, right? Um, you know, and the reason for this topic, last the other day we went out to teach, and you're trying to explain to people and they just not understanding, right? They don't get it, right? They can't comprehend it, and when you go and you pull a precept and you pull understandings and you pull these things and they can't get it, right? So and the reason why they can't get it is because the Most High has not opened their eyes for them to get that understanding, right? So let me get this real quick. Right, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 4, right? And it says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end." Right? So that was one of the questions that I asked, what does it mean that, the book is sealed, right? Until it says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end," right? And it says, "Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased," right? So, just understanding that, you know, the book, you could open the book, you could flip the pages, you could try to read, but ultimately it was sealed up. The words were sealed up. The understanding was sealed up for a long time, right? And we know that, through Abba Bivens, right? For those who have ears to hear, right? That, that time has come that he has prepared the way for Yahweh Shem Shai to come, right? And it's turning back the hearts of men, right, back to the Heavenly Father, right? So what we got to understand is, this book has been sealed for such a long time, and that people don't if it's not open to you, then you're not going to have the understanding ultimately, right? We was talking to people, it was a couple of brothers that we was talking to, and they was talking about um everything, they read everything literal in the Bible, and you can't do that. You're not going to get understanding. You can read it, right? It's a great story, but you're not going to fully comprehend what these scriptures are talking about, right? So, and let's get that. Let me get another example. Salakia. Let's go to the book of Second Ezra, right? And see what I'm talking about. This is Second Ezra. I want to go to 15. Okay, Second Ezra 15. Start at verse 1. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecies, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh Shem Shai, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." Right? And that's what's happened, right? That's why we have this, the Bible, right, in front of us. That's why we have these things, because the Most High put it in the spirit, right, of men to write these these sayings and this understanding, right? For people to prophesy. Well, prophecy is something that has not happened yet. It's to foresee, right? But it says they are faithful and true, right? Everything in these scriptures are faithful and true. None of these things are going to fail. Whatever is in these scriptures is going to happen, right? And we got to understand that. And a lot of people don't believe it. Oh, that book is, man, thousands of years old, and that stuff is not relevant today. That's how our people, feel about these scriptures, man. A lot of times, and it's off, and that's just because they don't have the understanding, right? Let's get this. Let's go to Second Ezra 14, and I'm gonna start at verse 38, right? And it says, "And the next day, behold, a voice called me, saying, Ezra, open thy mouth and drink that I give thee to drink." Right? And it says, then opened I my mouth, and beheld, he reached me a full cup, which was full as if it were with water, but the color of it was like fire. Right? It was like fire, man. Right? So, if you read this thing literally, you would think that Ezra was drinking was drinking fire water or something, man. You know what I'm saying? And you can't take this stuff, a lot of this stuff that's in these scriptures are not literal, right? There's dark sayings and parables, right? But it says, then I opened my mouth, and behold, he reached me a full cup, which was full as if it were with water, but the color of it was like fire, right? And I'm gonna get you a little bit of understanding here. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 15 and verse number 3, right? And it says, "With the bread of understanding shall she feed him, and give him the water of wisdom to drink," right? So the angel of the Lord had given Ezra that water of wisdom to drink, that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the knowledge of the power of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, right? It says, "And I took it and drank it, and when I had drunk it, my heart uttered understanding, and wisdom grew in my breast." It says, "For my spirit strengthened my memory, and my mouth was open and shut no more." Right? It says, "The highest gave me understanding unto the Salakia, the highest gave understanding unto the 5 men, and they wrote the wonderful visions of the night that were told, which they knew not. And they sat 40 days, and they wrote in the day, and in the night they ate bread. For as me, I spake in the day, and held not my tongue by night. In 40 days they wrote 204 books." Right? So Ezra was with 5 other men, and the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, right, put the wisdom and knowledge in his mouth, and the men were writing the things that were coming out of Ezra's mouth, right? That wisdom, knowledge, understanding that he was given, right? And it says, "And it came to pass, when the 40 days were fulfilled, that the highest spake, saying, This verse that thou hast written, publish openly, that the worthy and the unworthy may read it." Right? So what we got to understand, that there's structure to it, right? So the book, like I say, you could open the Bible, you can read, right, from Genesis to Revelation, right? And you can have a sense of the story, that's written in the Bible, right? But it says, verse 46, "But keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountains of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge." Right? But for this other, these other part of the books, hey, you got to make it where they can't get that understanding, right? That only the wise who have the spirit and power and the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Shai are going to get it, right? And that's what a lot of people lack, right? But we know that the elect will obtain it. They're going to obtain this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It's not for everybody, right? And I'm only talking to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans because the word was only given to you. It wasn't given to anybody else, right? According to Psalms, right? So we already understand that, right? And what we got to understand, let's get this right, because I brought it out, I mentioned it a little bit, but I want to get it so people understand, man, right? So people can pick up this book and read it, right? The Bible is the number one selling book of all time, right? But it has not been cracked where people can get that understanding, right? As far as now, people, if the spirit is upon you, right, and the Most High has opened your eyes, you can get it. But a lot of people they still don't get it, and they don't have the understanding, right? But only the elect, the elect is going to obtain this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 78, verse 1. It says, "Give ear, O my people, to my law; incline your ears to the words of my mouth." Right? It says, "I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old," right? "Which we have heard and known, and our fathers have told us." Right? So these things, this wisdom and knowledge and understanding, it's going to be hidden. It's going to be a code that's going to be upon it where people, they're not, who read it plainly, are not going to be able to understand it. You have to, the Most High has to open your understanding to the dark sayings in the parables, right? And right now you have teachers, right? You have the elders and the apostles, right? Of GMS, right? Who give you that understanding. But a lot of people, even when you tell it, when you break it down, they still don't get it, right? Because it's just not for them to understand, right? This is only for the elect, and only the elect will obtain it, right? And let's get this, right? Because Yahushua said it. Yahushua basically said the same thing. So let's just get this, right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 13, and let's go with verse 9, right? And it reads, who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And when you read the scriptures, right, especially the New Testament, Yahushua is always asking those who have ears to hear, let them hear. Because he knows that a lot of them, when he was speaking to the multitude, there was a lot of people that weren't going to hear him. They weren't going to, even though he was speaking, he was saying stuff, they weren't going to hear him, right? So it says, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given, right? And that's what we got to understand. I'm going to jump down to verse 13. It says, therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand, right? So this book is written in code to block a lot of people's understanding, because it's not ultimately given to them, right? You can open up the book, you can read the same pages, as somebody of the elect who has that understanding, and you'll get a whole different understanding and meaning, right? Because it wasn't given to you, right? Verse 14, it says, and in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see and shall not perceive, right? For this people is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them, right? So that's ultimately right, because the scriptures basically talk about that, right? Let's get to Isaiah, but this was Yahushua was quoting, but this was from the book of Isaiah, right? Chapter 6, and I'm gonna go to verse 10. It says, make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed, right? It says, then lo, said I, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, right? So the Most High has put the Spirit upon our people, man, right? Upon our people who are just not going to get it. He's making their hearts to to not understand. He's making their ears heavy so that they can't hear, and their eyes shut that they cannot see what's going on, right? And it says, then said I, Yahweh Shemashai, how long? And he answered, until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without men, and the land be utterly desolate. Right? And Yahweh Shemashai have removed men far away, and there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. Right? And so ultimately, right, you so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, guess what? You got kicked out of your homeland, right? Israel. You got kicked out of, your own land, and now it's desolate. It's a ruin, right? And a lot of our people's hearts and their ears are still covered, man, and they don't have the understanding. But this was all prophesied, right, from the beginning. So Yahweh, when Yahweh was speaking, he was letting them know that, you know what I'm saying? Because the scriptures have to be fulfilled. There's not going to be one thing that fails from these scriptures, right? And only the elect will obtain it, right? And that's what we got to understand, to have this understanding, you're blessed, man, right? Let's get this. Let's go back to Matthew 13 and let's go to verse 16. It says, but blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. Right? So if you have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and you understand these scriptures, man, you are blessed. Because there's so many people that don't have the understanding, right? And they'll ask questions, well, why isn't this literal? Why doesn't this mean, this? Because they have no understanding. The Most High has not opened up their eyes to give them that understanding in these last days, man. Right? But we know, let me get this. The elect is going to obtain it. Right? This is for the elect. This is for the elect, man. And we gotta, not 2/3, right? Zechariah 13 and 8 and 9. It says 2/3 of our people, they're gonna die. Their eyes are gonna be blinded, right? Their ears are gonna be heavy, and they're not gonna have understanding. Right, but we know 1/3 and the elect, the 144, right? The 1/3 and the 144, right? They're gonna figure it out. They're gonna get to understand it, man. Right? Let me get this. Let's go to Romans 11, verse number 5. Right? It says, even so, then at this present time also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. Right? So there's, from the beginning, there was, the Most High has a chosen people, has a chosen lineage, right? From Adam all the way to the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans now, or the Israelites, right? From Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? And Jacob, right? Jacob's name was changed to Israel, right? And he had 12 sons. And those lineages are you so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's his chosen lineage. But even out of his chosen lineage, he has chosen an elect few who are going to obtain and get this understanding, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Just like, he has an elect of chosen men, right? The 144,000, right? 12,000 from each tribe, right? He has elected these folks from the beginning, from before, when we'll get that, right? So it says, even so, then at this present time also, there is a remnant according to the election of grace, right? Let's go to this. Let's go to 2 Timothy 2 and verse number 10. And it says, therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in Hamashiach Yahushai with eternal glory. Right? So the salvation is for the elect. Only the elect is going to be saved out of this thing, man. Point, period. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And the rest were blinded, right? um, Let me get another one. Let's go to what's this? Second Thessalonians 2:13. It says, "But we are bound to give thanks always to the Most High for you, brethren, beloved of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, because the Most High hath from the beginning chosen you to salvation through the sanctification of the Spirit and the belief of the truth." Right? So since the beginning, he has chosen the elect from the beginning to salvation. Right? So only those who were chosen from the beginning are going to be saved. Right? And there's nothing you can do about it. It was preordained. Right? Let's get this. And they're the only ones who are going to understand, right, these scriptures, these dark sayings, right? And they're only Salaki there, and they're only the ones who are going to really hear Yahweh Shem Shai, right? Ephesians 1, and let's start at verse 4. It says, "According as he have chosen us in him before the foundation of the world," right? So the elect was before the world, the foundation of the world was, he had already chosen the elect. They were already, so if you think about it in a movie, right? Their script was already written that guess what? At the end of the movie, you're still going to be alive at the end of the movie. Right? It's preordained. This is the script that I've written, and this is what's going to happen. Right? So it says, "According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Yahushua HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will." Predestination, that means it's already determined of what's going to happen, right? It says, "To the praise and the glory of his grace, wherein he hath made us accepted in the beloved." Right? He made it like you already programmed. The elect is already programmed and is already predestinated to do his will. And those are the ones who are going to be saved. Those are the ones who are going to get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And everybody else, right? You're second, because the Most High, has his chosen people, right? Ultimately, all Israel will be saved, but they're going to be saved through the elect, through those who were chosen from the beginning, right? Let's get this, right? So they were predestined. So it was already worked out that they were going to be the ones, right? Let's get this. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 10, and verse number 27. And it reads, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." Right? And this is Yahushua speaking. Right? So his sheep are the elect. The elect they hear him, and they're going to follow him. They hear his voice. Right? The elect, we hear the voice. Right? Lord's will, we're part of that number, but we hear the voice of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Right? And we follow him. Let's jump. Let's go back to 5, right? Yeah. This is John chapter 10, verse 5, and it says, "And a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers." Right? So the elect, they're not going to fall for, the tricks and the things. They're not going to fall for those perils, right? Because they're going to think of that voice as strange, because the voice that they know is the shepherd, right? Which is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, right? And that's why he told them. And there's a lot of people, right, who they're just not going to get it. Doesn't matter how good you explain it, how good you break it down. If it's not meant for them to get it, they're not going to get it, right? And this is Yahushua said this. This is John 10 and 26. It says, "But ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. Right? So ultimately, if you're not of Yahweh Shemashai sheep, then you're not gonna get it. Right? You're not gonna get it. What does the scripture say? They're if the gospel be hid, it is hid to them, who the God of this world has blinded. Right? So now they don't have that understanding. They just can't grasp it. But guess what? Only the elect will obtain it. Right? Let's go to John 10. Let's go to verse 14. Right? It says, I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep, and I am known of them. Right? And that's the thing, right? The elect, they know, right? And when they hear the shepherd voice, right, Yahweh Shai's voice, they recognize it and they follow it. Because they was preordained, from the beginning, from the foundation of the earth, that they were going to follow what Yahweh Shai was saying, right? Let's get this, right? It's the book of Romans, chapter 11. I'm going to start at verse 7. Right? It says, what then Israel hath not obtained that which it seeketh for, but the election have obtained it. Right? So not all Israel is going to obtain this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? But the elect, the elect, they're going to obtain it. Right? So it says, what then Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Right? So ultimately the elect are going to be the ones who are going to obtain these dark sayings, these parables, this wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Right? They're going to understand these scriptures, right? Because they're going to listen and they're going to follow the voice of Yahweh Shai, right? Who is the shepherd, right? It says, according as it is written, the Most High have given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day, right? So the rest, right, of Israel is blinded, right? And then they're not going to make it on this side, right? So like I say, the scriptures say that 2/3 of our people, because if they hear and they get understanding, then they're going to change their hearts and they're going to be converted. But the scriptures tell you that 2/3 of Israel has to die, right? And what's going to happen? They're going to be brought back in the kingdom, right? Through the elect. And they're going to be brought back, and then they're going to be changed. Then they're going to obtain the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. But right now, it's a lot of our people that they can't pick it up and they can't get it because the Most High has put it on their spirit to not understand. He's put it in their eyes for them not to see and them not to understand, right? And ultimately, you got to be, like I said, you have to be chosen from the beginning, right? Let's get this. The book of John, chapter 6, and this is Yahweh Shai again, verse 44. And it reads, no man can come to me except the Father which have sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. Right? So you can't even come to Yahweh Shai unless it was given to you from the Father. Right? And the Father, is the one who ultimately has chosen, even from the foundation of the earth, has chosen it, and Yahweh Shai, right? Let's get that, right? Let's go to John, what is it? 15 and verse number 16, right? And it says, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in the name, ye may give it. He may give it to you, right? So ultimately, we can't, choose ourselves, or we can't. You chosen from the beginning, right? Yahweh Shem Shai chose people from the beginning to be His elect, right? And we all are hoping that we are part of that. We call it the hopeful elect, man. We're all wishing that we are part of those who were chosen from the foundation of the earth to continue on, right? Because the thing is, that's the ultimate thing too. You can understand this stuff, and guess what? The Lord could take it all away from you. And then all of a sudden, you don't have the understanding, the wisdom and knowledge and understanding at all, right? Because ultimately, it wasn't meant for you to understand, to retain, and to endure with, right? And we know that. So, and that's how we know that all this is given to us by the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, because He could take it away from you at any moment, and you can be, So that's why we always hope and pray, that we are part of that elect, that the Most High has chosen us from the foundation of the earth, because we don't know, right? But the only way we'll know is those who endure into the end, right? And that's the thing, because many are called, right? Let's get that. I'm going to close it out, right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 22, and verse number 14, right? It says, "For many are called, but few are chosen." It's only a few chosen, right? When you think about it, two-thirds of the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are going to die, right? Two-thirds, right? And the scriptures say that we're like the sand of the sea, right? That's a lot. That's a lot of people, right? And it says, but few are chosen, right? And we know that the few who were chosen from the foundation of the earth, man, from the foundation of the earth, there's only a few people who the Most High has chosen, right, for salvation and for this understanding of these scriptures in these last days, man. So, only the elect will obtain it, right? So a lot of times, when you're speaking to people and they just not getting it, I mean, all you guys, hey, brother, sister, hey, you need to pray that the Lord will open your ears and give you eyes to see and ears to hear, because ultimately, if it wasn't given to them, they're just not going to retain it. They're not going to understand it, right? And that's what we got to get to. So when we understand, we got to just, all right, brother, well, you don't get it, so we're gonna move on and we're gonna continue on with our teaching, right? Because we can't stop this thing, because we have to wake up the elect. The elect are going to hear the voice of Yahweh Shai. He's going to hear the voice and they're going to follow, right? So, that's what we got to understand. That's our mission, right? To make sure that the elect is woken up and is sealed, right? And we just continue to push this gospel to the four corners of the earth, man. Right. So with that, I hope this has been edifying. Right. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say Kahala Yahweh, Bahashim, Hamashiach, Yahweh Bahashim, Ruach HaKodesh. Peace and blessing to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. A mighty shalom, right? To the hopeful elect, man. Stay strong, right? Keep enduring. Keep standing these scriptures, man. Right? Keep pushing this gospel to the four corners of the earth. Keep praying and keep praying for one another, man. And with that, shalom.